Anyway, thank you very much for letting me share my experience with you today. The circumstances aren't important because I was so far from knowing them myself. What I knew is that I existed and I was uncomfortable, but I didn't know where I was or who I was. I didn't know the voices who called me their son. Records show that I was in a coma for a month. Unlike the movie fantasies, there is no brilliant wake-up moment with me saying, oh, where am I? For a time, I couldn't walk. I couldn't speak or move. When you forget everything about your life, you get to hear the best of who you were. People told me that I enjoyed going to Glastonbury with friends I couldn't remember, and that I lived on a canal boat to save money as a student, and that I have a brother and sister who joined me for this meal a week before the accident. It's possible to be kind of intimidated by the person you were, but I decided to become that person again from this hospital patient. I would fight to become the man they call Ben again. So, how bad was it? Well, there were no broken bones. The impact caused me to have the most devastating type of traumatic brain injury. It's an eruption of damage in your brain that mixes up too many networks and pathways. And regaining consciousness is not a given. And even if I did, the expectation was that I'd be significantly impaired for the rest of my life. A few years after the coma, a researcher began showing my brain scans at medical conferences. When he asked the doctors to predict my recovery, they'd all shake their heads and say, you wouldn't walk, talk, or learn again. But life was different. Life was no longer like strolling down a brightly lit road with great music, friends having a good time, and good Wi-Fi, where you feel happy and open to new experiences. It became a dark street, one destroyed and deserted, except for figures who shift along the edges. Strange sounds, phone dead, you're lost, and you think, who am I? Traffic accidents are sudden, like earthquakes. They take what they take, and we deal with what's left. When I've been interviewed about my story, people say, my God, you had to deal with all of this and the fact that the accident took your girlfriend's life? No, I can remember her. There were no memories to recall. The doctors told me I might never remember her. So after fighting to be myself again for 2 years, one day she was in my head again. We worked in international development and were in the Haiti region for the aid recovery of the 2010 earthquake. walking back to our room after a meal in the neighbouring Dominican Republic, a speeding car lost control and left the road. When the car hit, this is my brain. It's very big, I know. But it got completely scrunched up and can't go back to how it was. So, because of the accident, my short-term memory has been a problem. Although it has massively improved, and there are certain mechanisms I can use to counteract such problems, like having some notes. My voice has also changed, so now I sound like this. I still have a tremor in my right arm, but it is controlled, but it affects a lot of what I do. But the old Ben wouldn't be up here right now talking to you guys about my situation. So seeing as I'm actually doing this, I want to reach out to everybody whose life has ever been hit by disaster, natural or man-made. In your fight to be yourself again, paperwork, tick boxes and risk assessments will get in your way. Organisations that try and help need checks and balances, yeah, but when we have to fight their processes, as much as we're fighting to get our lives back, something is wrong. Risk assessments said to me, don't go back to Glastonbury, don't do a half marathon, don't do a second master's degree. I did them all. Local voice and action must be championed, just as patient voice and action must be championed in hospitals. In my fight to become Ben again, I've become a new Ben with different strengths, struggles, and a different story. The final step in my recovery is to work again, to help others. Everything has risk. We all risk being in the wrong place at the wrong time. If the worst happens to you, if the worst happens and people survive, and if your role is to support patients in their recovery, support their aspirations to rebuild and discover themselves again, it is in my experience the best way you can support their recovery. Thank you.